Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. It's that time to finally go over my Super Bowl prediction for this upcoming Sunday. Now, I'm going to go over a couple reasons on why I think the Seattle will win, and a couple reasons why I think New England will win. So let's get started with Seattle. One, they had the better overall team. Meaning, if you were to take or rank the top 10 players in the Super Bowl, and with Seahawks players and Patriots players combined, there's going to be more Seahawks players in that top 10 than Patriots players. Number two, Sam Darnold is just playing on fire right now. He played really well against San Francisco, and then in LA, where a game where he was going back and forth, Stafford had to be great. He was clutch and was great. So I feel like that momentum could continue. And then also, since this game will be in Santa Clara, I know it'll be near kind of 50-50 there, but home field, being West Coast and all that, probably give a little bit of edge to Seattle there. Now for the Patriots, one is that um, at this point, I feel like everyone knocks their week schedule. I understand why, but at this point, I feel like they're just seem like a team that Destiny is gonna be able to beat that narrative about, hey, like, week schedule or not, we're still a good team, and I feel like they could prove that this Sunday. Number two, uh, the Patriots have had to play great defenses. Like Chargers were good defense. Houston's obviously a great defense, and Denver is a great defense. And they were able to overcome those great defenses. So now they're going to be playing another good defense, Seattle. So therefore, they shouldn't be intimidated by that. And then, if you had to look at the coaching edge of this game, I feel like that would go slightly to Mike Vrabel, because Vrabel, as a player, has been in the situation with the Super Bowl, all that, and more importantly, um, Vrabel's offensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels has been obviously in many Super Bowls with Tom Brady and all that, so he can help Drake May potentially ease into the game and help things not make two things complicated for him and all that, which could be an advantage. Now, as far as who I'm picking to win the game, if you've kind of watched my episodes over the last few weeks throughout the playoffs, I think you know the answer, and the answer is the Seahawks. Again, they're just a better overall team, as I mentioned earlier. Sam Darnold's playing on fire. Um, I would I would just be surprised if the Patriots win, because whenever the Patriots do face a good team, they typically struggle on offense and they have to rely on their defense to win games and all that. And I just think this is where and I do think the Patriots can win. I'm not saying I have no shot at all, but I like if I were betting man, I'd bet Seattle to cover there. So my final prediction is Seattle 23, New England 12. Now, I'm going to go over my NFL head coaching hires now that that head coaching cycle is completed and give my grades for each coaching hire. So let's get started with the first coach that was hired, and John Harbaugh with the Giants, former Ravens head coach. I'm giving this an A minus. The Giants get a proven head coach who's won a Super Bowl and has success for many, many, many years. That's exactly what the Giants need right now. They need a grown up in there, and that's what Harbaugh is. Um, Now, the only reason why he doesn't get like a perfect A plus is because there was some slippage last year, and some people may feel like, oh, maybe Harbaugh's best years are behind him, maybe. Not to where Giants can't be relevant, they can't make the playoffs. Like Giants could be obviously good with Harbaugh, but as far as winning the Super Bowl with Harbaugh, I just don't see that at all. Now, if you're the Giants and we're wanting him just to stabilize the franchise, then it's an A plus higher. But if you're wanting him to help you win a Super Bowl, like he did at one point a long time ago at the Ravens, then I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Next, you got Kevin Stefanski for the Falcons, the former Cleveland head coach. I'm giving this one also an A minus. The Falcons got one of the top coaching candidates in the cycle, since he was a two-time coach of the year. I feel like this is a very good hire. He's got a great track record with quarterbacks, so he can figure out if Michael Penix Jr. can work or not for Atlanta. And if he can't work, then he'll get someone who can. Again, the only reason why he doesn't get a perfect A plus is because I don't think this hire will lead the Falcons to a Super Bowl. Now, since they're in one of the easier divisions in the league, he'll be able to probably win some divisions. I don't doubt that. But just as far as getting to a Super Bowl, winning with it, I just don't see that as of right now. Next, you get the Titans hiring Robert Saleh. former Jets coach and 49ers DC. I feel like this is an A minus hire. I actually like this hire a lot. Salah showed when he left the Jets and he was with the 49ers that he can still coach. Like, he's no scrub at all. He brings a grown up presence into the locker room, which Tennessee needs. He also improved Tennessee's defense, which Tennessee needs. Also, I love his offensive coordinator hire of Brian Daboll. I feel like he can potentially get a lot out of Cam Ward in his second year. So I'm excited to see how that goes. The only reason why he doesn't get the perfect grade is because he didn't have a good record overall with the Jets. I know it's the Jets. Everyone struggles with the Jets, but it is what it is. Next, you got the Dolphins with Jeff Hadley, the Green Bay Packers defense coordinator. I'm giving this one a D minus. The only reason why he doesn't get a complete F is because he has had coaching experience already, albeit that was in college, and he was below 500 in college. So this kind of reminds me, not as good, but it reminds me a little bit of Cliff Kingsbury when he was hired at Arizona, despite having a below 500 record as a head coach in college. It's just kind of weird, And Miami's going to be in a full rebuild. So I just would not be surprised at all, if because in my opinion, like Jeff Halley is not like a Brian Flores or Vic Fangio level defensive type of corner. He's just, oh, okay. So I wouldn't be surprised if, unless Miami is really patient with him because this is going to be a rebuild and this may take a while, I wouldn't be surprised because let's go early. Again, depending on Miami's patience with him. Next, you got the Bills hiring or promoting their offense coordinator Joe Brady. I'm giving this one a C. This to me was the quote unquote safe option. The whole point of getting rid of McDermott was to bring in a new voice, and Brady will be the same voice. Now, obviously, it's different sides of the ball because McDermott's defense, Brady's offense, and maybe there could be a few changes. It all depends on who Brady hires as his DC. Um, but this roster also just needs a lot of upgrading. So I feel like if the front office was making this hire, just to feel like, okay, now we're gonna make the Super Bowl next year, that's a mistake. They need to make the proper adjustments in the off season with the offense, especially to get this roster more up to speed. Next, you got the Ravens hiring Chargers defense coordinator Jesse Minter. I'm giving this one a B. This is one of those, hires that's like, it's fine, Like I would have done like Sala or Brian Flores for this job, for this, organization specifically. But this is one of those young defensive coordinators that's on the rise, has and also more importantly has familiarity with the Ravens organization, which is why I bet they went this direction. We will have to see who Minter has as OC and see that OC can work, with Lamar Jackson. Um, Next, you got the Steelers and Mike McCarthy, the former Packers Cowboys head coach. I'm giving this one a C minus. This is a typical hire for Pittsburgh. With Tomlin, things were very stale. Meaning, they always be decent. Maybe about 500, but they're not winning the playoff games like Pittsburgh expects them to do. McCarthy is basically the offensive version of Tomlin. McCarthy will make you relevant, make you decent, but he's not going to win you playoff games. I think Pittsburgh should have embraced the full rebuild model, go with a young, up and coming OC or DC. That's what I would have done if I were them. But obviously they don't want to admit they're in a rebuild, so they're just going to drag this out for however long possible. Next, you got the Browns with Todd Monken, the former Ravens offense coordinator. I'm giving this one the complete F. I just don't get this hire. The Browns are clearly in a rebuild, and yet they don't want to hire a young up and coming coach to coach Shadur, or if they bring in a different quarterback. And like I just and obviously there was a lot of mixed reviews of Monk and rate with the Ravens. Like, how come you're not running Derrick Henry more sometimes, or how come you're not running Lamar? Like there was a lot of question marks with Monken to end his time in Baltimore. I know if he didn't take this head coaching job, then Harbaugh wanted him as his OC going to the Giants. So, but I just don't like this hire at all. I would not be surprised if he's a one and done coach. Next, you got the Raiders hiring Kubiak, Seahawks offense coordinator. I'm giving this one a B plus. I like this hire. Kubiak is going to be working with a good young quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. Assumingly, since they have the number one overall pick, and the Ravens have some decent, offensive weapons like a Brock Bowers, and they can draft or bring people in free agency. And now that they're going to have a quarterback on a cheap contract, Now the reason why he doesn't get a higher grade is because this will be his first head coaching job in the league. and this is going to be in a very tough division. But Kubiak has a good track record with offense, so Raiders fans can finally feel a little bit optimistic here. And then last but not least, the Cardinals hiring um, former Jets and Chargers and Rams offense coordinator Mike LaFleur. I'm giving this one a D. Since this was the last hire in the cycle, I felt Arizona basically kind of settled with this hire. Now I know they wanted Kubiak as well, and Kubiak had to choose which one he wanted, so he chose Raiders, which was the right choice. Um, LaFleur didn't do a good job as OC with the Jets, or honestly with the Chargers for that matter. Yet he was recently the Rams OC. But as we know, when it comes to Rams offense, McVay is calling shots, not the Rams OC here. The only bright side with this hire is that you are going with a young coach. Um, and offense was not the main issue with Arizona last year. I mean, obviously, going from Kyler Murray to Benjamin to Jacoby Brissett, you want to have a better quarterback. But defense was the main issue last year for Arizona. So if Michael Ford brings in a good DC, then there could be some optimism there. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I give it a D. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel and tell about me. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend.